Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the ultimate Final Fantasy podcast. I am Joe.
I am Caleb.
And I'm your guest host, Krinital.
Welcome, everybody. We are here to review Chocobo Racing GP. As we know from Krinital,
It's your gold points.
gold points, apparently, is what that stands for.
Not really, but
Guys, don't look it up and correct us.
I know it's wrong.
I do want to say, in Japan, it's called Chocobo Guran Puri. I don't know what a Guran Puri is, but it sounds dirty.
It's katakana for Grand Prix.
Grand Puri? Oh, Guran Puri.
Yeah,
That
careful.
makes sense.
If the N-Gage community hears this, they'll accuse you of racism.
Oh, yeah, because I'm trying to pronounce a Japanese word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it happen. It just sounds like you're saying the English word with like a super shit-faced Japanese man.
It's more just like Eigo pronunciations for katakana.
Chocobo GP is a racing game for the Nintendo Switch that came out in March of this year, so March 10th, 2022. Part of the Chocobo series, which we are now done with. Holy shit.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This game was announced in late 2021 during Nintendo Direct. What's a Nintendo Direct?
That's their big event that they do.
It's like the Tokyo Game Show for specifically Nintendo.
yeah,
okay.
like everyone, E3 is kind of not really a thing anymore.
It's because everybody's pulling out.
Yeah, so everyone,
Like I know Sony does their thing and Xbox does their thing.
yeah,
This is Nintendo's thing.
yeah, it's their deal. You know,
Features the returning characters from the Chocobo series and the Final Fantasy series,
thank God.
and lots of tracks based on both of those. Now, I believe this was made, it's not saying this here, but I believe this was made because it was the 35th anniversary of the Final Fantasy series, and this was a way to capitalize on it. They obviously didn't have an actual major release, so they put this out because it has a bunch of Final Fantasy stuff in it, and it was a good way to I don't know, have a good mixer in there.
Yeah, and they
But-
were trying to find another way to swing more to having action with kids.
Yeah.
Because all their games are a little bit more on the mature side, and this is kind of like a really very kid-friendly-ish kind of game.
yeah, which
push.
works for Nintendo especially. So.
Yeah.
It does, and it's odd that this is on the Switch and not on this thing that the Final Fantasy series is most known for being on, the PlayStation. But
They're probably trying to cover their bases and try to make sure they're spreading themselves out, because they'll start off at the one major platform, and then 6 months later, yeah, we'll give some to you, give some to you, give some to you.
we're calling it spreading ourselves out, but isn't it just spreading themselves thin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. They did say they're almost done with 16, with development.
That is good news. I look forward to hearing about that.
Yeah. So that's really all I have on this game. As far as the making of stuff, I know you guys have some pages pulled up. If you see anything else, you can definitely talk about it. There's not much on this game. It came out, and I'm sure you guys at home have probably heard a lot of people, especially we bring it up or we're streaming. There's always someone who mentions, this game has a bunch of microtransactions. Fuck this game. And that's generally the consensus of the title.
For most microtransactions, that is the dominant basis of, oh, hell no, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in this game, it's only one version, and you honestly do not need to even pay a dime beyond its major capacity.
Beyond the $50 you paid to play the fucking
Yes,
thing.
yes.
It was made on the Unreal Engine 4.
Yeah.
It was not developed by Square Enix. It was developed by Arika,
Square just published it.
which is a Japanese game developer formed in 1995 by former Capcom employees.
It's like Street Fighter EX, Tetris Grandmaster,
and Dr. Mario series. Interesting. So these guys are the guys who made this. Obviously, Square Enix was like, well, we don't have the manpower for this. Here's a few million. Go make us a game, please.
Go make us an anniversary special. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm so loving these guys.
Yep. So we played the last game in the Chocobo Racing series, just barely, from 1999, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
They took a massive vacation.
yeah, I enjoyed Chocobo Racing.
I did too.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was after you finally got a hold of what the drift was. You know, once you caught the drift, yeah, exactly. Then you were able to play it. This one, however, plays a lot differently.
Oh yeah.
It obviously has like a lot of the same characters, some of the same abilities, and the general like outline of like you pick up first up the Mario Kart ripoff thing where you pick up the thing that's on the road in order to use it against your enemies or to help boost yourself in some sort of capacity. Mm-hmm. And then your character has a special ability. The difference is that in the previous game, the special abilities were something that you chose off of a list of abilities. And in this game, it's specific to each character.
Yes.
So that's a big difference between the two. There seems to be a lot more customization in this one than there was in the other. Well,
not really a whole lot, but there's more statistical data.
Yes. There's like different carts and stuff like that. In this last one, you were able to mess with your stats at the end of story mode.
Yeah, there's no point system as a reward for the completion of the story in this new game.
Yeah, I could really use a Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, get all the fucking stats and max that shit out for every character thing, but that's not available in this game as far as I'm aware. Maybe
get on it, Square. I'd play it.
Maybe you could buy that version. But anyway, the story of this game. Oh God, I just realized I can't remember a goddamn thing.
You want some help?
No, there's something like they got to race in order to like make their dreams come true.
Okay, first you have Mog Racer X. He's just an undercover racer. He's trying to escape from the cops. The cops in this case are Gilgamesh, who wants to take over his ride for some particular reason. He ends up getting caught by an energy blast by some dude from an alien race that doesn't really have much substance in this story, and he ends up being mind controlled by this person. He creates a racing tournament and gives out a reward for a wish for anybody who completes the racing tournament to actually get something from it. But it's a ploy for trying to get specific people to show up. And so as he goes in, he finds Mog Racer X ends up coming in contact with Chocobo and Atla, who's another Mog or Moogle in this case, and they specifically go on to like fulfill another option because they're tired of adventuring and trying to get like treasures from the world. It's like, let's go do go-karting. I feel like I'm doing something else right now. I'm tired. And so they just begin their journey. Like, I want a wish. There's a whole bunch of wishes I want right now. So they just start their journey. It's talk to Sid, talk to everybody else from like the Chocobo series, like Sherma and a whole bunch of other nonsensical characters.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I just remember there was something about a wish, and no one had done a synopsis online, and I was like, oh, shit.
You're welcome.
I don't remember this game at all.
And you basically just shut down the guy who was mind controlling
Mog Racer X.
Mog Racer X, and then everything goes back to normal.
Yeah. But there are some hijinks along the way that kind of give malleable substance to a minor story, but it's not really thick. It's a very very minor story.
It's like the last game, only much less entertaining in the story department, I would say.
And much more dead horse beady. There's like a joke that they do in there where nobody remembers who Gilgamesh is, and they do it like 8 times.
Yes.
Like, oh.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Also, the voice acting of these characters, I think mine and Krinital's version on
I thought
Twitch
we did way better on the original.
Yeah, exactly. From the last game, I thought our voice acting was so much better than this one. Like, this one is just like straight, made for kids,
flat
bullshit story that they're just made to get through and have a race thing around. Like the last one, but the last one had like a sense of humor. This one was really cringy, really hard. Like, one of the jokes in it, there's a character named Camilla, and then her dad is named Camilla's Pa. And not just for the character, but actually, as you come to find out, is actually named Camilla's Pa.
Canonically, that's his name.
Yeah. Which is insane.
And I'm still thinking to this day that the only reason he's
not
named
that funny
is because his creator in existence decided to like, hey, I wanted to rhyme everybody's name in a song, and yours doesn't work for me, so I'm just going to classify you as the Pa to Camilla.
Chocobo Camilla and Camilla's Pa. That's the song that plays every 5 seconds of this fucking game.
And you can't change it. It's stuck on the menu.
No. It like got rid of the store, like the pop-up book storytelling thing that they had in the last game.
It kind of has that, but it's like not actually a book. It's like
it's just the
It's a flip-uppy screen-looking thing. Like
It's
this.
here's what it's a puppet show.
There you go. That's what
stage
it is.
is what it is, and that's it. It just opens on that, and then there's no style after that. It's just like it's like watching one of those kids shows that's made for nothing on PBS or whatever. That's like 3D, and they're just like standing around like talking, and that's it. Like that's the game story. Obviously, this is not to shit on this too much. This game is not made for story or anything like that. But as a 35th anniversary to the Final Fantasy series, they really, really, really missed out on being able to just pull in all the Final Fantasy shit and throw it at you as like a...
They should always do what Final Fantasy is known for doing. Puns.
Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds of puns.
That is what the Final Fantasy series is.
And they decided not to do that and decided to just continue with fourth wall breaking conversations.
No, it was cringy anyway. I think it would have I'm thinking about like a Dissidia situation is like 10% better than this.
Do you think Dissidia
is 10% better in like the let's make everybody do a fangasm by like pushing on their sentimentality for the series.
Oh yeah.
And they totally missed out on that opportunity. We just got a continuation of the Chocobo world of gaming, and we had like a couple characters, or like there's a Leviathan, and there's a version of Ifrit, and there's a version of Bahamut, and there's a version of Gilgamesh, obviously, who they made the joke over,
and Sylph. And Titan.
Yeah. It has a bunch of those Final Fantasy staples, and you can buy Squall, and I think maybe you could buy or win Cloud or something
you
like that.
win Cloud in the Grand Prix, but that's the online-only content.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Which we'll get to in gameplay for sure. But who gives a shit about the story of this game? But obviously, it wasn't good. Like,
needs more zipper. I'll tell you that right now.
Needs more zipper?
Yeah.
From Lima.
Oh.
The split personality check.
Yeah.
Split
I like both
personality check.
personalities. So
what's the name of the character that does that? Is it Bulma from Dragon Ball?
No, it's
no. It's not Bulma.
It's something cannon or like boom or like.
Oh shit! I don't remember.
I know
Boom Cannon.
No, it's the blue-haired, fro-looking girl who hangs out on Master Roshi's island during the early stages of Dragon Ball, and specifically, she sneezes and she splits a personality from like a maid to like action star demolition woman.
Yeah, she becomes like a criminal from like the nicest woman on the planet to like a mean,
like a vicious, angry woman who's lost everything in her life, and she's all Rambo.
She's like super blonde. It's like super blonde versus like the like little like Japanese woman. There's like a total.
I think I know what character you're talking about. I don't remember any.
It's been a long time. Like she was only in Dragon Ball, and then she left the show, and then she's gone.
She was in Z for a little bit. I promise.
All right.
I'm on episode 53 still. I haven't watched that show in like 3 months. But yeah, not good. And totally missed out on an opportunity to like really like dig into the nostalgia.
Like the puns that they had in the original version for like just the everyday characters and like the fat chocobo digs and the Mog
fat jokes are gone.
And then, like this the overall grandeur of what they played for. Like Bahamut's like this big, huge, powerful character for like a hot second in the first one. This one he's like, oh, I'm just doing what I'm told to do, and I don't really have any backbone.
Yeah, Queen Brawny is calling the shots on Bahamut, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like, didn't she get sold out and killed off by her own people?
This must be like literally day 1, hour 0 of the moment Vivi met Steiner in Alexandria, because they hadn't done that trip yet later in 9.
Yeah, so like, how does she have the king of the gods in her clutches, but she can't even hold on to her own kingdom?
Well, he did say in the story that he wasn't technically hers, and I don't understand how that ploy goes, because even in 9, she technically had control of 3 Eidolons.
Yeah.
Only one showed up.
I've got another thing to posit here. Like, why is there even a story mode? Like, I feel like there's not a story mode in Mario Kart, and you just play the game as like an arcadey mode, and it just opens up everything else.
That's what it should be.
And that's exactly. That's like, what it should be. You open up characters, and you're like, fuck yeah, I got Cloud, bruh. And like,
or this could have been like Star Fox-esque, where they basically stayed racing, but all of the time you're actually inside the racing of go-karts, the people are like chatting on like a voice chat in like a little box in the corner and just saying, "Oh man, you should have got me over here. Man, this is a good race." And then be like people with like the bunny rabbit sitting there with the headphones on is like, "You did a good job for the barrel."
Yeah, you could do something like that too. Like anything but this. But yeah, the story's not good. But the gameplay.
Yeah, no fat jokes. What is that?
Yeah, no fat jokes. Lame.
We're fatter now than we were then.
They called Fat Chocobo Claire. Like Eclair, but
Eclair would have been good.
with no E.
That would have been nice.
The Claire, the E was on the wrong end of the word. That's the problem here.
That is a problem. The gameplay, it's a Mario Kart ripoff game, just like the last one. However, it's much more modern and it has much smoother controls. It's got big, wide open roads. The one we were having trouble with, the drift. The drift in this game is a lot closer to Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Because the roads are wider. And so it's a lot more like hold on to the drift, not like the strategic like pop grip drift thing that you had to do in the last game. So it doesn't take like the skill of a master gamer in order to fucking
or like
figure out how it works.
Or a prodigy to walk in and beat the mat single-handedly.
So it's a lot more forgiving in that way. There's still some like asshole corners in a couple maps, but I think that's to be expected.
Yeah.
There's I don't know how many maps there are, but there's not many. There's like 9 maps, and then there's variations on those maps. It's like different areas in either Final Fantasy or Chocobo series stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so it does seem like a little bit short on the amount of variety on the maps. But yeah, otherwise it plays, like I said earlier, almost exactly like the last game, but it is like rounded out, smoothed out, and also like evened up is a way of saying it. I guess like the game is really the AI in the game is really, really good at taking you down a peg.
Oh, yeah, it's way more polished and being aggressive as the most monstrous person. Like, you could be in a race, being perfectly fine, just chugging along, and all of a sudden the AI says, I don't like specifically you.
You could be half a map away from everyone else.
Yeah, and still lose.
Yeah, you can. So that is like a bit of chaos that comes with the game. It's also very like in the higher modes, which you would play after playing this through the story. It's like the master modes or whatever. It's a really fast racing game, and all the crazy stuff that happens in Mario Kart happens in this, but almost faster. Like Mario Kart maps to me feel like a lot bigger, and they're a lot more like technically what's the word, like varied. And this is pretty much like copy and paste quite a bit of it throughout the map design and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I guess what it like lacks in that, it makes up for like pure adrenaline filled chaos of just everything being thrown at you as soon as you get past like 4th place,
or just holding on to 1st place for just 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, that's tough.
And then right at the absolute end, in the last 20 feet, do you get decimated by everybody in the game,
and then you're suddenly in 6th place. that happens all the time in this game.
Yeah.
It has a Grand Prix mode where you can open up different I don't know about Grand Prix. Sorry. They have series mode where you can open up different series. It'll have, just like in Mario Kart, it has like races of 4, and I think it has like up to 12 different variations of that in each difficulty level. So there's a separate one for mirror mode, which is of course everything, but it's like flipped backwards, and once you get to know a map really well, that mode becomes like pretty painful because suddenly everything is backwards.
Yeah. They got time attack. They got multiplayer.
Time attack, where you have to try to beat
a ghost,
a score, of some kind, right?
Yeah. I played a couple of rounds of that. That's actually pretty darn difficult, but doing so gets you a better edge on the map because you race it so many times to beat the ghost. You now know the fastest possible way to get somewhere. So you can just stay in that routine over and over.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way to get good at the game outside of playing online, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And then what other modes are there? There's like I remember that series mode.
You could do customize. You can make your own map.
You can do same screen multiplayer in series mode, but you can only do up to 2 people. all three of us were able to get our Switches out. You can do up to 8 people on everybody having their own separate Switch and playing on their own screens. You can do that for the regular multiplayer mode, which you can kind of customize, and everybody like votes on the map that they want to race through, and then the thing randomly selects whoever like.
There's a lottery system where basically if you have the three of us playing in a room, each one picks a map, and the lottery is like, roll the dice to see who gets map gets a pick. And sometimes it just happens that it doesn't pick somebody for like 20 rounds. The map never gets picked.
Who's played Grand Prix mode? Because I haven't.
I have.
Okay, what is it?
Grand Prix mode is an online bracket system of a race of 64 at the start, 32 in the next, 60 in the next, 8, and then the race. The 8 is the final. Each race is always guaranteed to be online multiplayer. You're not playing against robots. Everyone is an actual human being on an online network because you have to pay the Nintendo subscription to be on the online platform. So Square is not actually the one making you go through their platform to pay for online. It's Nintendo. So that's kind of like their way of funneling you in. Okay, but for the GP, the reason why in this game you have a connection to the internet on a consistent basis because every week they have special rewards that keep getting replenished and need to make sure that they're updated consistently. So I guess they're doing little micro patches in case somebody finds something weird. They got to fix it every week. And so you're going to get like Mithra, you're going to get gold, you're going to get some tickets, and you can use those things in the shop that's also on the menu to be able to purchase things. Things that you can get if you get enough gold points, which for me, when I won the original beginner, I got 3,000 gold points, which should have been enough to give you one chance at a roulette of Squall. I didn't get them. But apparently, did anybody else get any more gold at completing beginner or masters?
I don't remember.
I didn't get any gold at all for either.
Okay, that's that. So I guess that must have been me during the week of that time when I was playing it because I did it, I think, the same time you guys did, but like maybe it was a day difference.
Yeah, and it's that Grand Prix mode that I think is getting shat on by the community. It's like
it's got the microtransactions and it's got the brackets of online play, and then it forces you like, hey, the reason you should do this in the game they advertise is please do this to get Cloud because he's the level 60 reward for doing the tournament. But mind you, if you're still a beginner and you're doing it for the first time, it's difficult because the people there have been doing it for weeks or months on end and they're like super polished at getting it. So like even if you come in like 3rd or 4th place by chance, you get maybe 20, 30 points. And so you're going to need 100 points to get a single level.
So you got to play this game forever.
For a few weeks to even get up to like 30, 40, or 50 levels. And like sometimes you get like dead last, you get like 2 points or 4 points. But that means you only get your points at the end of the tournament. So you have to play 4 different races, just like you would in a series, like the Goblin series, which you can play in locally with CPUs. And once you get them cleared, you get your point value reward. And what the point value was, you get some Mithra and then some gold. Mind you, not enough in one round to even buy Squall because I think you only get like 200 or 300 gold.
But you can just buy your way out of it.
You could go onto the online shop and do a microtransaction and actually spend real money and get some gold.
So that's what it's getting flack for.
Yeah.
I was like the game is a full game that you can play with your friends without having to do that. Yeah, to be fair to this $50 cash grab game.
Yeah, I don't think it's it's good where it is. Is it really worth 50? I'd probably drop it down 10 myself. But I'd stay there.
Yeah, I think it needs twice as many maps to be worth $50.
Yeah.
But because like something from every game in the Final Fantasy series, throw in some like Kingdom Hearts in there, something like that.
It already throws in references from like others, like FF9, FF6, a couple of the Eidolons that were from other games. But yeah, like they don't have the maps for them. But they decided to put in like the big bridge for Gilgamesh, but you put in like Sildra, and then you have a chance of having Terra. So why didn't we get an FF6 map and then an FF4 map dedicated not to Gilgamesh?
Why not 15 maps for all 15 Final Fantasy games is my question. But whatever.
I don't know.
What do you think about the gameplay, Schweiss? You've been quiet.
I think it plays okay. I definitely think it's easier to get a hold of, but I do think it's more unfair than the other one. Like, you can really get laid out hard in this thing. Like, there have been a few times where I was winning by a lot and I lost. Like, I got like last place because I just kept getting nailed by shit that I couldn't even avoid, really. It was like fucking like up my ass.
It's punishing. It's a punishing game.
Yeah, we were telling before that like there's a time where you're like 4th or 5th, maybe even 2nd or 3rd place, and the AI just says, I don't like you, and just specifically only target you, causing you to go from wherever you are to dead last in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what's different about this game, I don't think I can actually, when I was almost lapping someone, I don't think I could actually use anything on the person ahead of me. When I was in first, yeah.
Really? Huh.
So it's only people like behind you that can use crap on you.
So even when I was using the Doomed Reaper, that skill still should have attacked somebody behind me.
I think it attacks someone in front of you. I think that's the only
Right,
thing.
but I'm in first place and I'm activating it.
Right.
So
that's what I did on mine. Is like it was the Reaper thing, and I'm like, oh, it didn't even hit him.
Yeah.
And and the only thing I could figure out is like that's the game's way of making it even, I guess, or making sure that no one gets like so far ahead that the game's no longer fun.
Right.
Jake last night called it rubber banding, which is a term I had never heard before. It's like
it's a
like
power
way
creeping
for
step up.
It's like a way for the game to like pull you back into the game if you get too far ahead, which definitely this is doing through all of the things that the AI can throw at you constantly.
Yeah. That's a weird way to put rubber banding, because what rubber banding usually is referencing is like
slowing down the people in the front.
Well, no, it's more like if you're rubber banding, it means you're lagging, but like you keep running to an area, like in Conan Exiles when it's laggy and we need to reset the server.
Oh, you're talking about the term itself.
Yeah, when you keep running and then
Oh.
like you're back to where you were and you're running and then you're back to where it's like a rubber band coming back to.
This may have been something similar to me. Like there's some races where I may have like glitched out in the beginning, or I just didn't manage to get the special boost at the beginning, and I'm already starting at 8th place, and I'm already behind by 15 seconds. So I'm almost going to be halfway lapped. And so I think the game automatically either gave you nothing but boosts or Bahamut's, which are like the two skills you can use to just zip as fast as possible with no problems to getting up to the players.
Yeah. Yep. It does do that. There's some kind of like there's some kind of system to make everybody be in the crowd, which kind of good, kind of bad. I really wish that it was like more skill based on the players. But you can in the multiplayer mode have a custom mode where you just play with your friends and pull off all the AI, so you can really actually have a race to see who is best by doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's easier in a lot of ways than the last game, but the one thing that makes it harder is I do think the AI is a hell of a lot smarter and actually really good at driving. Because like the last few levels of OG Chocobo Racing, the AI was driving like an old grandma, super careful, like safe as fuck, and you can just
you watch them take the handles, just hit the brakes before making a turn, where you would just glide in like just dangerous to throw danger to the wind and just drift around the corner with no problem.
Yeah, and in this one they do that shit. They're the ones flying through the track, so you have to be real careful. And I had a hard time, man. I was getting my ass kicked by this game, especially on the harder difficulty mode that we played. Each of us beat the main campaign, and then we went through it again on.
Per my recommendation, I got you guys to run through the master section to get the extra bonus rides and the extra character Cactar. If you run through the entire master section, you get Cactar as a special character.
Pretty sweet character.
Yeah.
Who was everybody's favorite character? I just liked using the OG Chocobo. When he finally bought his second car, he played a lot better.
For me, I like Chocobo. He's a great all-rounder. He got pretty much my entire job done for the beginner section. But when I got to Masters, he wasn't really performing the way I wanted him to, so I switched to Robot Chocobo. And I'm kind of sticking with him for a while, but if I feel like he's not doing the correct turns, I'll switch over to Ifrit. Because they're both like competing with, like, one's like really good in control, one's really good with speed. So it's like 50-50.
Yeah, for me, it's probably Chocobo, Zippers, and then the
Lima,
the alien guy, the main baddie.
You want to explain why you're calling her Zippers?
So she has real big
Tracts of land.
zippers in this game. It's a chick that has like big old tits, and they're pretty awesome looking. Like for an anime character, I'm like, damn, that's nice. But she also has like
big.
insanely large zippers on her jacket.
No.
It's like Cindy style, but like.
Yeah, she's not quite zipped up all the way.
Yeah, I don't think she can.
It's like zipped up to just below her breasts.
Yeah.
And then it extends out,
Yeah, it's like Cindy, but instead of like normal zipper, you get a big ass zipper.
Cindy, but with much larger breasts.
Oh yeah,
And this is probably just cartoon proportions where you just have really big head, really small waist, really big tits, and you just have like a giant zipper. Because who's going to make a simulation of a zipper the actual size on a cartoon? They just over-exound it. What's the word I'm looking for?
They over-exound.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
I'm going to have that dictionary. We've been talking about dictionary. I've had it for a while.
Yeah, we've been talking about writing down all of Crin's phrases that he says. Life of a time being the classic, of course.
Yeah.
We're going to have a life of a time here, guys. His directions. I want a map that just says north, south, left, right. And then the margins.
Good old 11 reference.
Go left. Left again, hang a right, then go south.
They go south. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. No east-west. Nope, left to right. What if I'm facing the wrong way? Oh, left to right.
Y'all
Sorry.
figured it out anyway. Y'all figured it out.
Apparently.
I beat it. I mean,
half of 11 was just like trying to figure out where the fuck to go.
yeah. Like, I'm in the square with you, but I can't fucking see you. Oh, yeah, we're underground. Oh, my God. You got to have 3 people stand on this platform, and then it'll open up.
Oh, my God.
But
Good times.
Is it Japanese midnight yet?
Oh, yeah.
she's got ziggled bippers. Ziggle bippers.
Ziggle bippers.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I like playing as her, too. She was all right.
What is her benefit? Is like her special something of great quality?
I can't remember. I was too busy staring at the zippers.
Well, you see in the back of her head the whole race.
Steiner's ability is pretty sweet. He'll take out guys. He'll take out like a few guys on the way up and get
Metal
a speed
Chocobo's
boost.
got a giant Gatling gun that fires rockets after a few seconds.
Cactar's 1,000 needles. He gets like 3 hits on people as he passes as well. And that guy is fast.
Oh, yeah, he's a runner.
Yeah.
He's a runner.
Yeah, I like the Alien Guys one. It like sent out 2 pretty big hitters to like launch attacks, and I used that to win against you guys a couple times when we were playing. Like, you guys would be ahead of me, and I'd nail one of you with it, and then when I passed you, I'd shoot the second one off and hit the second person. That one was good. I like Chocobos though. He's a good all rounder. His super turbo thing is pretty fast.
It's the Chocobo Dash. He puts rings in front of him that makes him run faster. I also like Ifrit, which basically he's technically a firefighter, but all he does is shoot a flame wall in front of him for the continuous length of the track in a straight line, and if you get hit by it, you get knocked out. So
yeah, Shiva's got one that just freezes everybody on the map.
that was a dirty move when she was playing in the race when you were there, because you get all the way to the end and somebody freezes you right at the last second.
Yeah, and then Shui slams into you and then passes you for barely winning.
Yeah,
It was fun to play multiplayer. With
Oh,
these
yeah.
guys.
Oh, that's hella fun.
I think it was there. There's more than 2 players available on this one, unlike the
Yeah.
last game. So all 3 of us were able to play, and that was nice. Crin was staying at my place for the last week, and we've just been like every once in a while, just like getting on there.
It's
and
still
playing
like the
some
biggest
multiplayer.
draw for this game is just playing regular multiplayer, not doing like series or CP, just the multiplayer. Just,
Yeah, but I just checked. There are only 8 maps available, and then the different variations of those 8.
Yeah, technical.
Not enough.
no, not nearly enough.
No, yeah.
No, because that's what makes the game. When we're playing it, that's what makes me go like, all right, I'm done. Like, there's nothing new on my like sites, and that would be fine. 8 maps would be fine if this game came out in the Super NES era,
Yeah.
but it didn't.
No, it's brand spanking new. It should be better than what you were referencing before, Mod Nation Racers.
Yeah.
And then you were just basically able to fully customize your own track with your own 3D models.
Yep.
So you can
Yeah.
actually, if you ran
That
out
would
of
be
maps,
sweet.
you just literally make your own map.
Yeah. And like, yeah, I could use like 20 maps square. Like, I don't feel like 8 maps is enough for $50.
Yeah, I think they definitely did well with the characters, though. There's more characters this time.
Yeah.
You do have to beat the game to unlock.
They did well with the
access.
characters, and again, the physics of the actual game is
Yeah.
actually like a lot smoother.
And I
It's a
like
lot
how
better.
the abilities are dependent on the character. I think that's cooler, too, because then you can...
You get a favorite.
Yeah, you get a favorite.
That's
and
a
actually
good point.
matters.
That's a good point.
And like there was one, like I played the game. I played with each of the new characters whenever I unlocked them,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like I did last time.
Yeah.
But then by the end, you only have Mog.
You have Claire, Mog, Chocobo.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
You got the fatty, you got the regular Chocobo, and then you have the other Moogle guy,
Atla.
Atla. And I just went with Chocobo at that point. Fat Chocobo, I feel like was better in the last game. Honestly, like
because of the fat jokes. We all love the fat jokes.
Yeah, but
it made him a faster racer.
Yeah, he was self-conscious the whole time, so he
His name is Claire, by the way, and it's really confusing. I don't know a man named Claire. Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe it's like the word. Maybe it's like the name Courtney, which I always thought was a woman's name, but apparently it's a unisex name.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never known a male Courtney.
There's a lot of male Courtneys.
Is it with a K?
It's like olden days there were a lot of male Courtneys kind of thing, and now it's like occasionally you find a dude whose name is Courtney.
They probably
Courtney.
like convert it to something else because they don't want the word Courtney anymore because it's synonymous with the girl's name. So they'd be like my other predecessor's name or some other name that are similar in the Discord that I'm not going to point out.
Camille is another one that it's confusing because I only ever heard it as a woman's name until I was like a teenager and I met it. I was like Camille, and then you're like oh yeah, there's like old composers and shit.
Could be like
that.
Pokemon. Ash Ketchum is technically Ashley.
Oh yeah, Ashley. Yeah.
Those are
Ashley's another unisex name that just feels like a woman's name, even though it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or Kelly. That's another one.
Kelly.
That one's a little more.
Yeah. Aaron,
both.
just spelled differently.
Yeah, I have two Aarons at work. One's Erin, that's the girl, and then Aaron is the guy.
Oh.
Someone put Joe, but it's really Joanne and Joseph. Those are not the same name.
No.
Yeah, that's
a cop out.
You know the difference because Joe from Joanne is in the nickname version is J-O. When it's Joseph, it's J-O-E.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're going to have another kid, and Alex is convinced that she's going to call him...
Bon Jovi.
No. I get to name this one because she got to name the last ones. And sure, one of them got my middle name. No, I'm not going to do Caleb Farnsworth Craig Schweiss. I thought about it. And then I can say I'm not naming him after me. Yeah. It's not. I'm not naming him after me. I'm naming him after a friend I never hang out with. But
Cameron.
Yeah. Cameron Wilson, Craig Schweiss. It's a bunch of people who I don't see, and then my last name. No, but it's... what did I say? She wants to call him... She keeps referring to him as Leo, but I told her I want to name him Leonidas.
Oh, that's a sweet name. Oh, yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, but she's like... Now she's
call him Leon.
Yeah. And I was like, you can't just name a kid Leo. That's not a name. That's like a
nickname, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nickname to
those parents
better name.
that name their children the nickname version of a name, I just want to kill them. Like a John.
You had a perfectly good opportunity to make this name huge, and you decided to go like, I just want the short version.
I know John is also a proper full name. It's in the Bible. I know it's more than just Jonathan, but it just feels like it should be Jonathan, and then you nickname them John.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or like Johnny. That's another one that's weird. That's a name. When their name is Johnny, you're like, is that like a nickname for John? No, it's just Johnny. My name's just Johnny. You're like, really? Like, that's a nickname, right?
I wonder if you can find any Bobs. Like,
no
just
Bob.
Roberts.
Yeah.
Just Bobs.
Maybe. But I told her I want to name him either Leonidas or like Achilles, Like just quote Troy all the time.
Achilles?
Yeah, that's
name
a sweet
him Troy.
Name. Achilles! I could just scream his name every once in a while.
I thought Hector was the coolest guy in the Iliad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Hector's that's not a name for... That's a Hispanic name. You can't name it Hector.
Hispanic name.
The only Hectors I know are Mexican.
It's a Latin name.
I guess that's probably why.
So yeah, whatever. So what what is Leonidas?
It's Greek.
Greek. Okay. Sorry.
Close.
Yeah.
I mean,
different. Yeah, different.
I'm neither of those things, I guess. So.
Neither of them. You're
like a Gaul, just a barbarian.
Yeah, there you go.
Just a fucking barbarian.
Stufenpfeifen.
Yeah. You can give him some sweet German names. She thought all of them were ugly, though. But yeah, that was the joke, though. Leo. And I'm like, no, it's got to be Leonidas.
Does anybody have anything else they want to say before we get to like?
I do have a
quick
thought of like something they could probably have added to this game that I've seen in other racing games, where each character, when they go through the story or the tournament of what this is supposed to be, they'd have a different storyline plot. Like it was shoehorned into only those three characters at the end. Like even if you played with a different character, you'd still be stuck with those three at the end. Like it didn't divert itself to be like a different, like you would win a different prize racing with a different character.
Yeah, they could have tied more unlocks to that, but instead, like you play professional or whatever the hell the mode was, and it just chucks them at you. Like every race you win, it's like, here's 3 more car models. Here's another this unlocked. Here's that unlocked.
I was beginning to think they want you to start on master level just so you can have the extra rewards on purpose, but I don't know. Because the extra is only gained by doing the beginner mode and completing it.
Yeah, that would have been cooler if they would have been like, hey, you have to beat the game as this guy to unlock his extra vehicles.
Right.
You know? And then you could be like, oh, okay, there's some replay value there.
Yeah, they could just given you like, hey, if you beat this person all the way at the end, you get this car. Or you get this model or this color or whatever they're using for the ticket system. But they're shoehorning it in at the end for that. But
Choice, I got another one for you.
What's that?
Because I got Achilles mixed up with another character from the Iliad in my head, even though Achilles is in the Iliad, and he's the one who kills Hector. Agamemnon.
Oh. How would you shorten
Dude,
that?
if you call your son Agamemnon, that'd be fucking sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
He's
Yeah,
an angry god. He's the hero.
nice.
Although everybody who reads the Iliad from a Western modern day perspective looks at other characters as the hero, but from the Greek perspective, as I was told, I don't know if this is 100% true, is like, oh, actually, Agamemnon was the hero of the whole story.
Yeah.
Like, that's how a man should behave back in whatever times. He gets really mad and starts a war.
That sounds about right
He's
for them.
Yeah, Agamemnon.
There's a lot of good Greek names that come out. It's just, I can't think of all the stories that were because
She said no to Kratos.
Oh, lame.
I know.
How about Chocobo? How about
She said no to all of the names.
how about Camilla's paw?
Yeah. What was he called before? Like, did he just not have a
No,
name?
that's what they named him.
Deliberately in the story, they specified, my parents did me a favor and specifically called me Camilla's paw.
Oh, yeah. That way I don't have to come up with a name for my daughter.
Right.
What if he only had sons, though? What then? He's going to have a son named Camilla?
Probably.
Or is Camilla a boy in the game? I thought, no, she's a girl, right? It's a girl.
It's a girl.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's cool.
I was like, it's a chocobo. I guess I didn't check the underlings.
Yeah.
The only one whose genitals I could actually see were Mog Hero X. Like, when he was standing, like, the furthest away, it looked like he had, like...
Oh, you saw his dingleberries?
No, it didn't look like balls. It looked like...
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking
You were
about.
focusing on something.
He's
I
got a
wasn't
nice
focusing.
man pussy. It looks like vaginal lips on the bottom of this fucking guy when you full screen it.
Yeah, it's a good way to segue into how the game looks.
Yeah.
We're talking about graphics and art. It's very cartoony.
Welcome to our
And
review
it's
of a kid's
also-
game, folks.
It's also on the Switch,
Yeah.
which when we blew it up on Schweiss's TV versus my TV is like a 1080p plasma. It smooths everything out, and it kind of has like a. It's not too crisp. It's just like it's made for movie watching.
Yeah.
Schweiss's TV is much more made for gaming. It's a 4K television. It's really bright. And it you can definitely see the flaws in the graphics of the Switch.
Yeah, I don't think it was designed to be rendered out specifically at 4K. It's stuck at 1080p because even me, who doesn't really focus that hard on graphical quality, you could see the pixel haze on a 4K TV now.
Which was interesting. Interesting to see a modern system that's still... What is up with Nintendo? What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
I don't think they're ever going to champion the concept that they need to increase their graphical quality because they're just going to stick with...
I understand that, but it should be out and it should export in 4K, like...
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
Maybe they have to render it specifically in an engine at 4K.
I'm sure we'll get
it does take more processing power.
I'm sure we'll get a comment on the Discord saying, well, you know, if you bought the new Switch, it does
think
render
so?
in 4 probably.
There's a pro version of Switch?
There are newer ones, yeah. I don't know if it's pro.
I don't know,
Or
but
if
like
it's-
it looks fine. Like
Yeah.
I wish that some of the areas are for me were kind of difficult to see a turn coming up or something. It was just like
Yes.
too busy, maybe.
That
Yeah.
and the many 90-degree turns.
That
And the
happened.
animations that take up like 80% of the fucking screen, so it's just like...
Yeah.
I
It's
wish
explosion.
that, like the Mario Kart series that it's ripping off of, and doing a pretty good job for the most part, by the way, that the maps were a little bit more interactive and unique. This one
Yeah.
really is just like there's some
Static.
jumps and then there's turns, and that's
There's no giant
Pretty much it.
arm reaching over the screen to try and grab your
No.
character, or
There's
rocks
no-
purposely being thrown by a person off a cliff.
My favorite map in Mario Kart is the one from, I believe it's from Double Dash, but it's like DK Mountain, and you drive it up, and then you're cannoned out, and then you go and you're into this like sandy area, and you're doing
Oh.
a bunch of like turns all over the place. Love that map, but it's that kind of map that like makes Nintendo kind of king on these things. Or like that mushroom foresty one where everybody you bounce across the mushrooms and stuff like that. There's a lot of originality in those things. This one, I wish it had a little bit more of that. Again, more maps and stuff like that. Like the maps look fine. It's cool to see like Final Fantasy areas.
Give me what I've seen in like Mario Kart 8, what they have right now, where people are just hang gliding across a giant chasm.
Yeah,
just like fun little. I mean, it does make up for it again with some speed and some chaos in some ways, I think. But it's missing that kind of fun element, which they could have definitely ripped into more.
Yeah, less. There are fewer 90-degree turns in this one than in the last one. So
except for Castle Alexandria or whatever.
Yeah, that one's douche.
I like that map though. I don't know why. I just like that map.
I've gotten used to that map. What I started out at is like I just want the maps that are a circle so I don't have to deal with these turns. But now I'm kind of on Crin's side where I'm like
you need the extra turns.
Map.
I want the complex map because I want to drift because you get the complex single circle. Like literally, you're just picking the fastest character and he wins every time.
Yeah.
So. I don't like the graphics they're fine. Most of the areas look pretty good, I would say, except for like the Castle Alexandria. There's some stuff where it's honestly really hard for my eyes.
You can't even see where you're supposed to go.
Yeah. There's just some maps that have that problem. In just a couple spots. It's not like the whole map.
Yeah, there's many areas where they're just fractionally out of purview where you always clip the corner of the wall.
Or like I drive into one of the corners in Castle Alexandria a lot because I can't physically see which way I'm supposed to go.
Or Gold Saucer where you're just shoehorned pin when you do a drift into that last
Gold Saucer
final corner.
Gold Saucer's my bitch now. Gold Saucer's like the Rainbow Road of this game.
Yeah.
Kind of is, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it looks fine. I don't know if you guys have anything to add to
What
that.
was the chick that had like the undulating symbol of Utah as her mouth?
Oh, Ashura.
Yeah.
She has has the 6 heads, and so basically it spits around, but her normal human head was specifically cartoonishly designed to look like the shape of Utah opening and closing.
Yeah.
It was weird.
It's kind of odd, yeah. I bet you once you go back to Virginia, it'll like the next state you want to go to, it'll be like a California mouth, getting bigger. It's like a tourist trap. This game, it just subliminally messages, you must go here now.
I gotta focus on this character slip so hard. Like, it's my next destination.
Yeah.
So, this game does feature a 40-track soundtrack arranged by Hidenori Iwasaki, Natsumi Kameoka, Joe Down.
Joe Down.
You got a Joe Down.
I feel like I've heard of him
I'm going to
before.
go Joe Down to the bar real
Joe
quick.
Joe Down.
Masamu Kobayashi, those guys were the guys who arranged this. From Hidenori Iwasaki, maybe that's original stuff, I'm not sure. Nobuo Uematsu and Yasuhiro Kawakami. Mostly led by Hidenori Iwasaki, it looks like, who I don't really have any information on him right now, but I might look him up in a second. Anyway, the kind of like the last game, it's taking a bunch of like classic stuff and jazzing them up, in terms of like, making them a racing game. Like it'll do like the Melodies Alive thing, but it'll be like bing 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 boom, boom, like it's a whole like thing.
Yeah, a little bit of electrical hip hop in there.
Yeah. So that's all in there, and that's fun. Okay, this Iwasaki guy did composing work for Left Alive, The Bouncer, Threads of Fate, Legend of Mana, Stranger of Paradise. That's another one of his.
Big Limp Bizkit guy.
Now, most of the music I like. There is a menu theme song that I want to fucking blow my brains out every time I hear it.
It's atrocious. It's horrible.
I honestly thought it was in Japanese for like half an hour.
If we didn't point out the words...
It wasn't Japanese, but I thought it was like bullshit, whatever she was saying.
She's like speaking
Then
all bad.
Krinital is like, no, it's just a list of names.
Yeah.
And like, I listened in, it was like, Chocobo, Camilla, and Camilla's paw.
It just names all the characters.
It's like, Magicite, blah, 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 blah. Like, just a bunch of shit from the game. Sung in this,
literally
like,
what it is. It just names all the
horrible,
characters
like,
and their journey on a Grand Prix race and go-karts.
This horrible, like, souped up, like, kids cartoon song that plays every time you're in the fucking menu for the game. So
y'all should play a snippet on the episode. Just to let people have a little nugget of it.
It replays every fucking... that's going to be hard to find, actually, probably.
I think it's like a minute and 15 seconds, and there's a 7-second gap of nothing.
Obnoxious. So the last game had a song that I thought had a good melody in it, but was sung out of tune.
Yeah.
This one,
at least that was at the end. That was at the end.
This time they actually have a good singer.
But a poorly written
singing
song.
an atrocious song.
Yeah.
Atrocious. So
I feel like what they should have done was just kept adding every new character you find and then like speeding up the speed of the song.
Oh, that'd have been great.
So then it's like a System of a Down or a Slayer song. It's just like super fast lyrically.
Let's see if this is it. Here we go.
The bottom of your phone.
Kill me.
Shoot me now.
You guys can listen to this now. The whole thing. We're listening to the whole fucking thing. Straight to victory. I'm done. I can't.
Yeah, it's basically the song of the game, you know.
For like a whole week, I think it was stuck in my head, and I couldn't get it out. I had to find something to divert my mind from listening to the song.
Yeah, we listened to a great podcast, a Metallica podcast called Metal Up Your Podcast.
Oh yeah, it was great.
And it's like these two guys. They had like an off-topic episode where it's called Hot Summer Nights. I suggest look up, guys, if you want to laugh. Look up Metal Up Your Podcast, and then look up the episode called Hot Summer Nights Part 1.
Yeah, it's in 300s.
It's a collection of demos that were passed around in like the early 2000s in Nashville that everybody
Somewhere
got a
in the
hold
late
of.
90s.
And it was just like the worst shit that people had sent to
God.
record companies. And
Woo.
it is, oh my God.
But it was the best thing in the world for getting
It
that
was.
dumpster fire out of your brain.
It was,
Because when
that-
I was climbing the trails while I'm here in Utah, that song from Chocobo GP was stuck in my head, climbing the trails, and I couldn't get it out.
You had to replace it with another terrible song that was a lot funnier. That's the difference, I think.
Yeah.
It's just like Hot Summer Night. And like there's some fucking other songs like
This one's
I
not
am
even
a man.
What does that mean?
It means that and like every verse changes and it just keeps on repeating that
It's
fucking
4
thing.
rotations of a different statement.
So me and Kryn were singing a song where we only knew like 6 words of the fucking song, but it's way better than that fucking thing in the menu
Yeah.
of Chocobo Racing GP.
Heck, the one about the church girl that was doing good things for God was even better. It's not even a
yeah.
song.
Is it?
It's just her telling about stuff.
I just want to advertise that podcast one more time. Metal Up Your Podcast. Look up Hot Summer Nights Part 1. And like you can fast forward through the email section. It's like an hour long. Then listen to the fucking songs. It is priceless.
I think it's like somewhere about an hour and 15 minutes in.
Yeah, it's really fucking funny.
Nice.
But yeah, a bit of a respite from that. Otherwise, the music's good. I don't know what you guys thought.
Yeah, it's really fun, like upbeat versions of classic Final Fantasy tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, even Jake, who hears the word microtransaction and immediately hates whatever it is, he was like, yeah, I might give the soundtrack a listen by itself with nothing else.
I did enjoy the Final Areas soundtrack. It's kind of got more of to me, it sounds a little rockish.
Yeah.
Not a very subtle rockish.
Yeah, the main track on the beginning
Yeah,
when you launch the
the
game.
very first, if they had the beginning track with the title sequence, that'd have been better. I'd have been happy.
Yeah, as opposed to just switch the two. You can start with the shitty song, and then like whenever we go back into the menu, every 5 seconds of this game, we can hear some like.
Or you could have moved that
rockin'
menu
shit,
song
you know?
all the way to the end as like a credits roll scene, which it did in the first one.
So yeah,
Let's just flag ourselves again. I'm gonna find the Gilgamesh theme. I want to listen to it for a sec because it reminded me of a Metallica song.
okay. I got nothing else to say on the soundtrack. Twice you got to do this kind of searching while we're mid.
Did anybody actually go in and take the time out of the day to specifically change the soundtrack in the game?
I never did.
I only changed like 2 because when we got Cactar, I really wanted to hear it for the first time with the Cactar song because you get the CD for Beating Master, so you get his specific song to play in the track. And I don't remember what it was sounding like when I was thinking about it, but it was something. It's really like Diddy kind of song, but it's.
You need me to unmute the computer twice.
Maybe.
Battle on the Big Bridge. Is that what you're talking about? Like the actual Gilgamesh song, or
No, I think it was the song. Oh no, maybe it was.
maybe it was Battle on the Big Bridge. So yeah, that's kind of like the overall. I don't know. We've gone through the game like pretty thoroughly by now. See if we can find a song real quick, I guess.
Oh wait, that's Chocobo Tales.
No, get out of there.
Big
Why-
bridge
okay,
time
why
attack.
are we
Maybe
looking
this
at
will
that?
do it. It just sounds like a.
Sorry, hold on. This one?
Yeah, that's it.
No, that's not the one. It's like the theme that comes up when he shows up.
Oh, I don't
Oh,
remember.
the story point.
Yeah,
Sound.
it sounds like a. Oh man.
I didn't notice anything that it sounded like.
I don't
If
know,
it sounded
it's-
like a Metallica song, I would have sussed it.
Yeah. I don't know. There was
Maybe.
one. It wasn't like it was enjoyable. It was just kind of weird. And it was like very Eastern like style, you know. It had like
Okay.
you know the stuff they do out there with their music.
The stuff they do out there.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
Eastern scale,
yeah. But it sounded like
like a Dorian mode.
it sounded like oh man, one of the ones off the last album.
I don't know. They could definitely hear that.
Yeah.
All right, we're done looking up songs if we can quickly get it. So yeah, that's kind of Chocobo Tale or Chocobo Dungeon GP or Chocobo GP. It's just called Chocobo GP.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I thought it was called Chocobo Racing GP.
No, it's
Nah.
Chocobo GP. I just let you fail.
Wow, I'm an idiot.
I thought it was Chocobo Racing GP too.
Which of course I don't. Did we say that on Nude Clan or on UFF?
You
The gold
introed.
point.
That's me.
Oh, that was you
on
Okay.
here.
It was
Oh,
gonna
that
be.
was on
I
here.
think it was on new. Well, yeah, it was been here on my
Yeah,
the
it was
previous
on
episode.
UFF.
That was for
oh
me.
my god, gold point.
Yeah, I mean,
Been making fun of him for it for the entire week. By the way, it hasn't stopped.
You're welcome for the comedy.
yeah.
So what's kind of the critical consensus on this game?
A lot of people are really mad at it because they don't like the fact that there's microtransactions.
But that's only like a minor point. But if it's you're just going to crowd around the fact that it's that one minor problem and make it a major scale.
I do think it's half a game without it.
yeah, I mean, you got to figure.
Like you said, it wasn't worth 50. I agree. I think it's worth about 35.
30, yeah.
Brand new.
I'd say
Personally.
30. When I saw it was $50, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now? $50?
Yeah,
What is this thing? 2 months old?" It is, but
It is.
You know, it's so I get the complaint for hey, this seems microtransaction-y because you can buy extra stuff. I didn't really look at what you can buy.
you can buy characters, you can buy car rides, you can buy stickers, you can buy colored themes. You can buy Squall in the marketplace, and then you could probably purchase Cloud once you unlock him at level 60 in Grand Prix.
Yeah. So, okay, all of that stuff you can unlock in-game, though. So that's where I don't really care about microtransactions.
I
Like,
know.
if you want to throw your money around and buy a couple unlocks,
Yeah, it's not like the mobile franchise that I've been playing where like the only way to even get that character in the first place, there's the only chance you can do it is actually putting up money and
Yeah.
playing the roulette lottery. But in this game, you could literally just pay the 1 month fee for the online thing, run it for like 3 or 4 weeks, get to level 60, get Cloud. You'll probably have built up enough like gems, coins, and tickets to unlock everything you need by then, and then just stop. You don't
Yeah.
need to pay money.
I think the problem is not everyone's come to the realization that money is kind of time, right? Because it takes time to earn the money.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you're upset about a microtransaction that cuts away the time, it's kind of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just which would you rather do?
Pay the money to shorten the time,
Yeah, pay money
or actually use the time to get the character.
pay money that you earned with previous time to save time now,
Yeah, I love getting into philosophy on this show.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
or do you want to save money by using more of your time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was one of my things. Like, how much do you make an hour, and is doing this thing actually saving you that amount of money? Because
Yeah.
you're, taking up so much time in order
Yeah.
to get something done. I can't really remember an example off the bat, but I have had conversations with people. It's
Yeah,
like,
because like in the mobile,
why are you doing that to save money? Like you're taking so much more time at it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was my parents, but they're like not updating their internet with their Netflix thing. They're just sit there for years. Their Netflix would just like stop and stall for a while, and like, yeah, this happens. We just enjoy it. I'm
My
like,
parents got a similar kind of thing. They're using this.
it was like,
do you guys know what Kodi is?
How many hours and days of your life have you just been sitting waiting for a buffer screen to go? Like,
Oh,
just
my God.
pay the extra $20 to get the fucking internet better.
Yeah.
Anyway,
My parents got a similar kind of thing because they wanted the free platform of Kodi. If y'all ever heard of a third party, it's a pirating platform that allows you to watch like off-brand, like by the hip waist film recordings. And basically, they have this entire clientele that have put a platform on Amazon Marketplace you can download if you jailbreak it.
Okay.
And basically allows you to watch any movie that's ever released the day it's like a few weeks before it's released. So they would watch like a TV show that's early released or a movie early released, but the graphical quality is in the
horrible.
dumpster. In the dumpster.
it's like, what's the fucking point?
But they are so happy to have it because they are not willing to spend the money to go watch a nice film 3 weeks later.
Yeah, I do want to kill your parents now. I want you to know that. But
That's a film nut.
It's
yeah.
good to know they shoot from the hip waist, though.
yeah, they shoot from the hip waist.
Yeah. It's another
Is that
good
what
one.
y'all
And all they're just
That's
doing,
what you said.
They're just doing it to have a life of a time.
Yeah. I shoot from the hip waist because that gives me a life of time.
I'm going to get shot one day because I'm going to say something that makes no damn sense to the rest of the world.
I want people to go cull through the last 2 episodes and find Krinital saying something just a little bit off. Like it sounds like a real phrase, but it's not.
Like, wait a minute. It's like an alternate universe. Like we're like one level below reality. Like where just a few things are kind of fucky.
I was saying this to Crin yesterday. It's like I wish I had the ability to speak quickly because I really don't.
Yeah.
Like I have to force myself to speak quickly or have some kind of a script in order to feel comfortable with doing that. I constantly stop myself mid-sentence to be like, is the next word right? Like subconsciously. It's not even a conscious thing.
Like I have the exact opposite of that because
Yeah.
I can't.
He
I
just
don't
fucking
have the
goes, bro.
I don't have the
Krinital's first draft all day, every day.
Absolutely.
Throw it out there. You'll know what you meant later when you look at it.
No,
Get that shit out.
no. It's just
Life of a time.
Yeah. Joe's like already storyboarding immediately. It's not even a draft. It's just, okay, here's a storyboard.
Yeah.
Here's what we're going to do here. You're going to be standing over there.
I'm going to give you 100% day one, just ramming it down your throat with no filter, exactly as I feel it in my brain, with absolutely no concept of design, no plausible platform, and absolutely nothing of concrete value. It's just exactly what makes sense in my brain.
That's fine, man. I wish I had a bit of that.
That
That's
works.
What I'm saying.
Yeah.
It'd be better as a podcast host.
Which
And here we are again.
Probably going to do that.
You should.
Well,
You should do Final Fantasy Ultima.
this is a brand new game, so there's not much to say about legacy or anything like that.
Yeah, the legacy is basically people hate it because of the microtransactions.
But in overall grand scheme, like you guys,
Fine.
just like I did, had fun playing this game for the few weeks we were
When
doing
they knock it down to $20, it'll be worth it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the complaints if they had like microtransactions for more tracks and stuff. But really, the microtransactions don't really get you that much more. This game is just kind of bare bones already.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem with it. So
Like,
like
if you're going to give me the weekly updates for rewards from like playing GP, like add it into GP. Give me a reason to go back into GP and get like level 30, unlock this track. Level 40, get this character.
Yeah,
Level 50,
yeah.
get this extra bundled pack of tracks.
And then if you're lazy, you can buy those.
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And is it really pay to win if you're not playing with anybody? I mean,
Yeah.
who are you paying to win against? The computer?
Schweiss did ask for reviews and questions for Chocobo GP, and
I don't think
Brulo responds, haha, you mean Chocobo microtransactions racing? Funny. And then Shura Elemente says, I've got a simple question. This is our only question. Did you actually do a microtransaction? My answer is no. I didn't even touch the Chocobo GP section.
Is the GP just the top? The
upper
very first?
left-hand corner. Event
That's
in
the
process.
online one.
I played one and I placed 5th, so I was immediately booted, and
Disqualified.
then it was 3:30 in the morning, and I said, "All right, well, I guess I'm going to bed now, and not in 5 minutes next round."
Yeah, it was a lot more fun co-op, like not co-op, but couch multiplayer. I think.
I think we should have tried to all join a GP at the same time, and then like face each other against other real people. I think that would have been pretty
Trying
fun.
not to spend Switch money.
Well, they have free trials.
Yeah, but the free trials, you had to make sure your card was attached to it, so you probably had to pay a minor fee for the 7. Like for me, the minimum price was like $4. It comes with 7 days free.
Yeah, I don't
it's
know.
for a month.
I don't know. We might have been able to go around.
But I mean, like, we're done now, right? I'm not
Yeah.
going to play this again.
yeah, we're
I don't
fucking
think.
done.
I'm like good.
This is a decent game, but it's not big enough. It's not expansive enough to keep going in like the newer Mario Kart.
Yeah, this is not a game I was like, hey, buddy, you free this weekend? We can play a couple rounds.
Bro,
of GP.
let's play some Chocobo GP, bro.
Yeah.
And you know what? It wouldn't take that much to be one of those games.
Yeah.
Like it feels
just
like it's
play.
halfway there almost.
Yeah.
Like they just like a little bit more care with the maps, more content for you to have, the online play making sense, and all that's not being a grind basically, like you were talking about before, like all those things, then maybe, and like more pushing on that Final Fantasy or Square Enix as a whole nostalgia. They could have really hammered in something special, and this was just kind of like half of what it needed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I might
But I
in
still
a
had
few
fun.
months I'll play a few rounds or so, but this is like a kind of dead in the water for me.
Yeah. I still had fun though, and I had fun on the last one too. I do think this is in my opinion, this one's a better one. This is like the controls are just better. The game's more rounded out. It's just about it's got a longer campaign. This one's about 2 hours long, unless you Schweiss that it's a 6-hour campaign for some fucking reason.
yeah.
And then and I think the multiplayer is a lot more intuitive. Like you still only have 2 people on the couch co-op, but everybody has their own Switch, so they can everybody has their own screen, and you can have way more people on that, which is a really big improvement. I enjoyed this game overall. I just don't think it's worth $50. I think it's like a $30 again.
Like at the most, I'd probably call it a
$35
$40 as a max, like in its lifespan. But yeah, 50 is too much.
Yeah, I definitely raised my eyebrows when I saw that price tag, and I was like,
Not worth it.
And then the frustration I got right out of the box, just playing the demo for free, which gives you the tutorial, just playing the very first racetrack with just Mog Racer X and Gilgamesh. Like, I spent 40, 50 iterations of trying to complete the tutorial. Joe did it in one try.
I had no problem with it.
Schweiss, he had the same kind of problem I did for like a couple rounds, but it's like
The tutorial is weird. It's a weird one where it's like, no, as I'm speaking to you right now, hit the button, idiot. That's not do it after the text screen goes away. It's do it right now.
right fucking now.
Yeah, that's the difference. But like because Krin said he had a big problem on the tutorial level, I was paying really close attention.
Yeah.
And I was able to go through it just fine because of that. I was like, oh, I hit it. Okay. And then I was like, oh, okay. And then I got through it in like 5 seconds.
So if you...
there's the other thing. So remember on the last Chocobo Racing, I played it and it was very difficult for me.
Oh, yeah.
And then Krinital comes in and does every race in one try.
Every race, even the secret one.
I got a bit of a comeuppance on this time around because Krinital had problems at the tutorial. I got through it just fine. And then in the final level, I believe you said you were really struggling.
Getting pissed.
Yeah. Now, when I got to the final level and he was in the next to me in my room, or my living room. No, we were in my room. We were naked and in a bed.
Yeah.
Good old
As you are.
Yeah. So as we were in there, I was like, okay. I can't remember how this conversation went in its entirely, but basically it was like a bet that I could do it in one try. Like, what if I do it in one try?
I literally did. We had that statement. Like, he made the bet with me. He could beat it in one try. I was like, I'm sure it's going to take you 3 or 4 tries.
And then I fucking bitch slapped the last level of this game.
And I'm
just
like,
woo! Did you? What you're supposed to do is tell him you will blow him if he beats it in one try.
It would have gone
That's
there
the
if he
rule.
would have done like 3 more tracks and did the same thing. It's a plausibility.
get some throat number.
Yeah, I'd suck his dick for that. I also beat the last level in one try. The first round, I didn't lose. I lost the one before like 7 times.
But then I must have gotten what we all figured out was that the classic AI, I don't like you at the very last moment for like 30 or 40 rounds.
Yeah.
That's what I kept getting.
And I was consistently bad at both games, so
Yeah.
there's that. But I'm really good against these guys. Like when we played multiplayer,
Yeah.
I lost the 1 Grand Prix. Oh, no, 2. I lost 1 against with them with bots, I think, right? And then we did one with just you guys and the maps that you knew I hated, and I got stomped. But there were some pretty intense ones. Like at the very end, like
just like before, I'd always get to the last 20 feet of the track, and somebody either freezes you, electrifies you, blows you up,
And
or
you
slows
have nothing on you.
or you get trapped in a swap button where somebody teleports 5 feet in front of you at the very last one of the race.
I did a teleport and I landed like right in front of him and he like hit me and I won. It was so fucking awesome, dude. It
was so bad.
He was over there celebrating and I like nailed that button, just fucking like plopped down right in front of him.
No!
That and then the fucking there's an icicle that I like fucking swerve to get out of the way and it just hammers in from behind and I run into him and then I slide around him and win.
See, notice
Definite
how they're talking about this game. It's not like, oh my god, Heroes of Mana, fucking bullshit, boring, horrible. Like, no, we actually had fun in this game.
This is kind of nice.
It was, it was nice. It was enjoyable.
Like I said, I'll probably pick this up for like a couple rounds when I'm feeling bored. But like, am I going to go back and play the full series of the tournament? No.
Yeah,
I would like to add, like, we're having 4. Is it 4 multiplayer games in a row?
the last one, this one, 14, and then
Stranger of Paradise.
Stranger of Paradise. Yeah, 4.
Because y'all told me you guys played the demo, which allows you to. You figured out that there's
you have 3 people.
Three
on your
people to
team.
play.
Yeah, so that'll be sweet.
If I can find a PS5.
Yeah, either you're going to be around or Roxo, Dr. Roxo's going to be. That's usually our defaults.
It's probably going to be Roxo because
who's
broke.
on first?
Yeah, whoever's on first wins.
Yep.
Unless it's 14, then it's like no, I'm just steamrolling in. I'm just going to be there.
Yeah, and we'll both be coy, like, oh, maybe we'll do 10, and then I'll get a text from Joe. I did 37 levels today. Like, what the fuck? Because he's always like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to have time to play 14, as he's got his like phone in this crook of his neck, like 30 missions in for the day.
12 hours later.
Yeah, that's how it goes with us in 14 usually.
Yeah.
We don't have time, and then we just slam it.
Yeah, I mean, I just try to find it in the crevices of where I can. Currently, I am having to have a second job, so it is a little tight on the 14 time, but I will try to make it at least like maybe one day a week where I just like plow for 7 hours or something like that, which is kind of what I did last time, right?
Yeah, that's our method.
Yeah, it's
We
not a
meet
good
up.
method. It's not a great method.
It's not healthy.
No.
Because
I'll be sitting in the background. I'll be just typing away like a little gremlin, like, this is what the story was, because nobody paid attention to it because you were just pressing the button to zip through it because you didn't care. You didn't want to listen to this conversation.
We cared. We
Dude,
read every line.
I've read every line of that thing, and somehow we've talked about it this week. In one ear, out the other, because what I've realized after doing this show for so many years, and having learned about how the brain memorizes things, how the brain learns, like that's been a real that's been a subject of my life for the last couple of years, like learning about language learning and stuff like that. If you go in and your brain consciously knows this is not important, it will not try to remember shit. So, because of that, having played so many fucking awful spin-offs, I don't know at what point the spin-offs became impossible to remember the stories of these Final Fantasy games, but at a certain point, it just became, I go in there, I do play it, I'm understanding the story when I'm in it, story ends, 2 hours later, can't remember a goddamn thing.
And me being just a completely different person or a different breed of human for some reason. Like, I literally remember every interaction of every Final Fantasy game down to the near physical level. But anything beyond that, I have no idea.
I also have the writer part of me that tries to break down the story into the simplest, like, core element. And I know whenever we're talking story with you, it's like scene by scene. When I want to get to, like, what happened at the end of the first act and where did it lead to? It's different.
Yeah,
it's different.
I get that.
Yeah, and
because I'm sitting down, bogged down in the nitty gritty of like every clip of every scene of every action of every move.
And we used to do that on UFF, and whenever it's my episode or whatever,
right?
Usually with these spin-offs, I do have to look up like a story synopsis to get it again, and I'll remember it as I'm reading the story synopsis.
Yeah,
but then I like try to just simplify that down. It's funny with all the different podcast hosts how they handle that. And I've been trying to get them like, please do a 5-sentence story synopsis for Nude Clan. They never do. If it's Zach or something like that, they just go in for like half an hour.
This is like the concept
scene by scene.
Yeah. This is the conversation you had with me a little bit earlier in my trip that you talk about the difference between directors of movies and directors of TV shows, where the writer will be king in TV shows and the director will be king in movies, where the writer will talk about every interaction of a single episode because the plot's not over.
Yeah, and it's definitely more about like character and location and all that. And like a movie is telling the story with the camera. The camera is the character and all that. So in general, and this is not everywhere, but yeah, in general, movies are a visual medium, and therefore you can't be doing laundry at the same time you're watching a well-made film because the exposition's not going to be in the dialogue.
Yeah, whereas with TV shows like that my wife watches or something, she'll just watch it while she's working.
Yeah, you're watching while you're doing something else. And like, I think that's honestly, I think in the ADD age, I think this is why the movies are less popular now, is because everybody wants their phone at the same time and they realize they have to pay attention to a movie.
Yeah, because there's many people out nowadays that have ADHD. Just literally, just the attention span is like just squirrely all over the place.
I think even if they don't have ADHD, like I don't have ADHD, but I do want to pull my phone out all the time, and it's just like I don't know, like a dopamine thing, and it's horrible and disgusting. It's ruining society.
Yeah,
but yeah. Would you recommend this game? Overall thoughts on this? I feel like I've talked the most on this episode, so I'm going to stop.
Yeah, for me, I'd probably say give it a few months, let the price die down a little bit, but then, yeah, absolutely, I would recommend you at least play a few rounds of this, because I had total fun playing it. Would I invest the $50 again? No. But for the base value of the game, if they just told me this was like a $30 game, only played just regular multiplayer, yeah, hell yeah, I'd play this game again.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think give it a little bit, let the price drop. 50 is pretty damn steep for a game that's half cooked, yet fully made. I think it is. It was a really good time. I had a lot of fun playing it. I think it's a fun game. It's a good little knockoff of Mario Kart. You don't really have to buy anything else. Like, that's all nonsense. Everyone who complains about that, they're usually wrong. Whenever anyone starts whining about microtransactions, I generally roll my eyes, and I'm usually right about that.
And anytime I'm hearing about microtransactions, it's always like a core piece of the game. Like if you're like, for me, who was part of the B team playing mobile games, microtransactions are like the bread and butter of the entire franchise. It's annoying as hell trying to get anything done because like you want to beat the game and you need this really powerful character, but you have to go through this lottery system.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't play this game because I don't have this character.
Yeah.
That's a serious problem.
Like this one, and then the other one people were crying about was Shadow of War, the Middle-earth game, which also had microtransactions, but I Redboxed that thing for 2 days, and I almost got the platinum. Like, I probably could have if I would have not hung out with friends that night, like the second day. I could have probably 100%ed that game, renting it for 2 days. So it's one of those things where people see it and then they just immediately cry foul.
They're probably just mad at all the things that like something. I don't want to point fingers at anybody else, but there are some game franchises that their whole commercial basis is the microtransactions. Like buy this specific color, buy this specific bullet, buy this specific toy, buy this specific sword.
Yeah, and I also think it stems from like, I don't know. There's people who feel like that preys on people's addictive.
It does.
Behavior.
It does.
It might, but like I don't have a problem with that. So I just say, come on, just get over it.
Some of
play
us,
the game.
some of us don't have the ability to.
I can
shut
have
off.
Coke whenever I want, and it doesn't affect me.
I'm not a little bitch. Why are you taking my cocaine away just because you can't handle it?
Yeah, I've heard that argument before.
And I don't mind. I don't mind having stuff for skins and stuff like that. Like there is something to be said about the old ways where everything was unlockable, but that's simply not how it is anymore. They can't make enough money. These companies doing it that way, supposedly. So they don't.
They just want to make more. So I don't think can't make enough. I think they just want to make more.
I think in this one, it is fair.
But I mean, if this game was twice the game and everybody was like, you can play every Final Fantasy character, you could do like that,
then I would have.
Then suddenly, they would have had to double the budget. But then suddenly, that game would have probably been so much bigger.
Yeah. I would have happily paid $50 if every FF character, even the main story characters, were in the game.
Yeah, and if we had like 20, 25 maps, no problem. Yeah.
Hell yeah, I would have. That would have been totally worth it.
Even if the story was still only 2 hours long, I don't care. Like, it would have been a lot of fun. But yeah, I think the half-assed nature of it, but also from the sounds of it, the microtransactions are half-assed too. It's not like you're getting anything special.
Nope.
So there's really no need. It's like a weird mixture of where everyone's mad at them because they just spent $50 on a game that took 2 hours to 100%, and they're also mad at them because the only microtransactions that are available are shit that you could already get in the game.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? What do you want?
The
only one that's not part of the game that you probably have to work for it is probably the gold points because you get so little of it doing GP.
Yeah.
But that's it.
So we're going to rank now. Cran, you've played the least amount of these Chocobo games. So this is the list of games that we played. So Final Fantasy Fables, Chocobo's Tales. Final Fantasy Fables, Chocobo's Dungeon, which is the Wii one. We should probably just start calling it Chocobo's Dungeon 3. Chocobo's Dungeon 2. For those who are confused, there was never a Chocobo's Dungeon, the original Chocobo's Dungeon, released in North America, so we're not playing it. We don't do emulation here on this show. Chocobo World, Chocobo Racing, and Chocobo GP. That's the Chocobo series that we are now done with. Krinital, of the ones that you've played, where do you rank them?
Okay, I think the last time I had this conversation last episode was I played. I do remember playing Chocobo's Dungeon 2 on the Wii, and then we played a little bit of World. I never really beat the game, and then we played Chocobo Racing, and then this. So from the 4 games of this list, I'd probably say the top right now, based on fun factor, GP at number 1, Chocobo Racing at number 2, Chocobo Dungeon at number 3, and then World at the bottom.
I think you played Chocobo Final Fantasy Fables, Chocobo Dungeon, and not Chocobo Dungeon 2. If you played it on the Wii.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got the brick floor, the kid with the green hair.
Yeah, that's Dungeon.
Yeah, okay. Then that one, yeah.
Wii. We should just call it Chocobo's Dungeon Wii instead of 3.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Chocobo Dungeon Wii.
There you go.
I can never remember that thing.
So at the bottom of my list, Chocobo World, which is hardly a fucking game, and it's goddamn awful. Then Chocobo Dungeon Wii would be the next worst. I find that game extremely punishing, and I don't like it, period. So, like, even though it's probably better made than the next worst one, Chocobo Dungeon 2, not a fan of either of them, but I would rather have the slightly shorter Chocobo Dungeon 2 over Chocobo Dungeon Wii. Then we get into some okay games, I think. Chocobo Racing is probably like the next one up from there. I think that's a decent game. Then I would put Chocobo GP as the second best in the Chocobo series. Just edging out Chocobo Racing. There are some things about Chocobo Racing I like better. I like that it's a complete package, all in one sort of thing. And this one's kind of a little bit messy and
no
those other way. And like the story was like a little bit funnier and stuff like that.
It was a macro transaction to buy Chocobo Racing.
Yeah, that's true. It was way more expensive than the other game. Yeah. Both games are overpriced in their own special
very
way.
Much.
How much did you pay for it?
And then the best Chocobo game by a landslide is Chocobo Tales. Final Fantasy Fables, Chocobo's Tales on the DS. That's the one that I would definitely recommend as a game. It's a really fun little...
Which one was Everybody?
That's
the remake of Final Fantasy Fables Chocobo's Dungeon on the Wii.
It's the Wii.
That's the remake of Chocobo Dungeon Wii.
Chocobo Wii Make.
Yeah.
Chocobo Dungeon Wii Make. That's what we call it.
There you go. Schweiss?
Definitely on the bottom of the list, Chocobo GP. No, I'm kidding. It's Chocobo World.
Oh my God.
Chocobo World, like you said, barely a game. A cool little add-on, a cool idea for the time. I think it would have been okay, but I still think even if we would have played it back in the day and fully utilized the items, it would have still been the bottom because there's barely any story. There's just a few interactions with people, and if you look away for a second, you miss the story interactions in that game, which is ridiculous to me. Plus, my hands have not been the same since then. Like, they are permanently scarred. There's like scar tissue. And the
scar
joints
tissue
of my
that
hands.
I wish you saw.
Up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right.
Not just left, right.
Oh, yeah, the mechanic you guys were telling me about where you press left and right to speed up his ability to fight.
Yeah.
I forgot I had that joke earlier today.
Yeah.
I told him, because of the randomized system, the lottery system for picking the maps, I told him if you go back and forth really quick on the D-pad, it'll give you a chance of winning. And he's like, really? In all seriousness? And I'm like, no.
I was like, I hadn't won once. You guys have won like 3 times each. I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
I should have just done it to like fuck with you.
Maybe you're just over there slapping that thing, yeah. And then I would win. You watch it. If you would have done that, I would have won.
Yeah, then you would have been like, it would have just been confirmation bias.
Yeah, and you're like, I guess he's right. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, Chocobo World's the worst.
Chocobo World, definitely bottom feeder. Then I would put Chocobo's Dungeon 2. Yeah, brutal, very unforgiving. overly long, very simple, and I don't know. Yeah, it's old.
Yeah, we've complained about it thoroughly.
Yeah, and then barely being edged out, I had Chocobo Racing. Fun game, a little clunky. You know, we had a review a week ago, so you'll listen to that. Good time though. And then, so this is where I think they start getting okay. And then Chocobo's, Final Fantasy Fables, Chocobo's Dungeon barely edges out Chocobo Racing. I have a weird affinity for that game. I don't know why.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
It was hard, and it definitely took substantially longer than Chocobo's Dungeon 2, but I was way less angry at it. I don't know why.
I had the opposite. It was like I remembered how angry I was on Chocobo Dungeon Wii, and then I got to Chocobo Dungeon 2 just expecting the same feelings, and I was just able to just like turn my whatever part of me feels things, you know, in my body. I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
Yeah.
But whatever part of me, like my adrenal glands or whatever, I just like cut them off, and I was just able to like get dazed out and just fucking like just accept the fact that I was gonna die over and over and over again as part of the process of growing in this game.
Dark
and I just
Souls,
like
Chocobo.
To be fair, if I had just had that attitude in the other game, maybe I would feel the same, that it was better. Like, it's certainly more polished.
It's more forgiving, I think, too, because in Chocobo's Final Fantasy Fables Chocobo Dungeon Wii, when you die, you keep all of the items that are equipped to you. Like, what you have equipped stays. But in Chocobo's Dungeon 2, you lose everything. Everything there is that's not in the bank.
So Diablo 2 mechanics.
But everything there is also made to break really easy. So it's just like part of the game is that items are
expendable. And then you need to break them to get those special little feather guys that I started getting.
But I do think items are less expendable than the other one. That was a problem for me.
Yeah.
It was like keeping on like the Chocobo's like whatever class they had in that game and stuff like that. It was all really like it was such an asshole game.
Yeah, it was a little too much.
Fair enough. So that's the second best. What's the best?
The job class system, I guess, made that one No, that's the third best.
Oh.
Second best is Chocobo GP.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right.
It is a good time. We had a lot of fun. You can check our old stream out. It was fun. It was entertaining. Not worth the money, but it was a good time. But you know what's even more of a good time is Final Fantasy Fables Chocobo Tales. That game is just a blast. Like, it's crazy.
It's a stupid fun game.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of little mini games.
Is that the one you played like 4 times?
No. Chocobo, the Wii one, is the one I played twice. But I did go back and play a bunch of extra stuff in that game because I thought it was so fun. I was like, I'm going to go get these challenges done.
That's got to be the best of the mobile titles that we played, right?
Yeah, the handhelds.
That's the handheld titles. Like, you guys aren't playing mobile games.
Like on this show,
except for maybe Final Fantasy IV Complete.
Oh, I don't care. I guess that is a remake of 4, but
like, as far as like third party, handhelds,
maybe Crisis Core.
Yeah. Oh, the longer
Crisis Core is not as fun.
The longer Crisis Core like drifts from me, the more I don't like it. Yeah, and the more I'm reminded of it, the more
I remember being underwhelmed.
Yeah,
I just remember loving the soundtrack. That's all I remember about the
soundtrack. Good soundtrack.
Yeah, I remember making the foolish statement once. Yeah, to Joe that I think he's gonna like Dirge.
Oh.
And then I cracked Dirge in, and I'm just like, my eyebrows are even higher than they were seeing that $50 price tag on this game. I'm like, oh, he's not gonna like this. I don't like this. Like,
it is.
What the fuck is this? Oh my god!
Well. God,
no, jeez,
it's bad.
Just imagine coming down to Jake's basement and seeing him with the fucking mouse and keyboard. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? It's precise, I guess. But
in a world in which Halo exists, to call that a shooter is despicable.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a rail shooter, but it's not. You're not on rails.
It's still like tank controlling. Like, it's really like rigid. Like, you just swing. Fire.
Yeah, it has the auto aim thing, which if it didn't have that game would be fucking impossible.
Oh yeah.
So that's nice.
And it's yet another level of bastardization of Final Fantasy VII, which offends me on a deep level. So
yeah.
Crisis Core kind of did a little bit of that. A decent amount of that, actually, with the gacked shit. But
oh, yeah.
It's just like, come on, why do you have to do that?
You can't make my remake because I have my music in there.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, like, I also and then having Genesis as a character and not just,
What's the point of him again?
There is no point. He's just there. He's just one of the buddies with Sephiroth and
Angel.
And, yeah.
It's like there's more
Angel.
Sephiroths. Check
It's
it
like,
out.
how many times is this sword going to be removed? It's like 4 parts removed from its original owner. Like, who the fuck made this Buster sword? Because Angeal had it. He dies. He gives it to Zack. Zack dies. Gives it to Cloud. What is this, like a best friend heirloom?
They really need to make an origin story on that sword. Like, just who made the sword?
Yeah.
Who
No,
made
they don't.
it?
Don't give them that fucking idea.
They've already done enough. Yeah, they've already done enough hand-me-downs. It's like the first sword ever forged. Like, it's just been handed down to every hero throughout the entire thing. Like, yeah, it's just ridiculous. Like, every plot point that 7 had, like, this
There's
one
something
was like,
that's exploiting it.
Yeah.
Which is funny. It's funny. It's like Final Fantasy VIII sold 8 million copies, and they haven't gone through and been like fucking around with shit. It's just 7 that they've done that with, and then they've made sequels to 10 and 13. But
They just can't leave 7 alone. It's like the itch
No.
that just keeps on.
which I mean, I really liked remake.
scratching.
They surprised the hell out of me with that. But
Yeah, they shut us
I
right
didn't
up.
want them to do it, but
They
whatever,
shut
it
us.
was good.
They shut us the fuck up when we played that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys excited for the second part?
Yeah, sure.
If it's as good as the first part, yeah.
If it eventually, whenever it comes out, have they updated us on that at all?
Not to my knowledge. I have not heard anything, but hopefully we're expecting a Square Enix press release sometime in the middle of June. So maybe?
We do have a new Kingdom Hearts coming.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a... I mean, I was
Crazy how long it took for them to get to 3, and then suddenly they're like, 4. Like, we were expecting 20 more years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Diablo. You just expect the next decade to be.
Maybe Nomura has cancer or some shit.
I know this is like a little small thing, but do y'all remember that conversation
Sorry,
I had with the
not a
guy who was the voice actor for the red-haired guy at the con?
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
Like, I knew he was going to be in the 4th game, and I really wanted him to be in there. Just confusing the crap out of him because he wasn't sure if he was going to get the job.
Yeah, no, he was getting mad because he thought that they had like announced a game that he wasn't in, and he's like, "What? What are you talking about?" You're like, Kingdom Hearts 4. And we're like, Krinital, there is no Kingdom Hearts 4. But he like couldn't hear us. He could only hear you. He's like ready to pull a gun out and go down to Square Enix headquarters like, "You fuckers lied to me again! What the fuck? What the fuck?"
I knew they were making another one, and here it is.
Yeah. But I don't think he knew at the time. He was like as surprised as I was. Like, what are you talking about? Like, whoa. What? Would they make it a game without me? Without me?
So, by the way, the next games on the list, we had 2 Final Fantasies come out since me living in a trailer and moving around. And so, like, now we could finally get to them. Final Fantasy XIV's next 2 expansions are what we're doing. So
Shadowbringers and Endwalker.
Yep. It's the Shadowbringers patch content. So after the main Shadowbringers game, like what they do is they do like 5 or 6 patches of more story content that builds into the next expansion. So we got to finish that for Shadowbringers. Sometimes they have a name and sometimes they don't. So we'll find out what that is later. And then Endwalker will be playing throughout the entirety of like the first main pack of Endwalker. So we're going to be in Final Fantasy XIV for a while. Our server that we use is Brynhildr. So if you want to join us when we hop on, please do so. And you can talk to us in Discord and get our like PlayStation links or whatever and who we are in the game. I'm New Boreas Caesar in Brynhildr. So you can add me on there. And the clan is Nude Clan.
Yep.
So there you go.
You're
Much
welcome.
more. Dang, how many of those people even listen to us? Like probably
Hardly
none.
any,
Huh?
yeah.
About 5 or 6.
Those fucks. Get in there, Crit. You got to get in there and be like, you got to have like
I got to be the show point.
struggle
just like,
sessions with them. Like they have to like know. They have to admit their failure to listen to the podcast.
I
And
mean,
then
a lot of them is just
self-flatulate
life has
and
just
then
hit
leave.
everybody. Like, they all just like partially moved on. I mean, I'm sure a lot of the old.
It's been a few years.
Yeah, it's been a long moment since you guys haven't been in there and talking about it all that much. I'm sure people have just faded into existence and just play the game,
I'm not talking about the people who like
run the guild.
like Gabranth, who used to listen, and I don't know if he still listens to the show. I'm talking about the people that are in there that don't even know what the hell it is. That's an affront
the
to me.
other people.
The
I've
others.
had many of those conversations with a lot of people in the group that
Like,
just
do you know what this is named after?
Give you the origin story of
It
this
just says
clan.
no, dude. I love tits.
Yeah, nude. It's actually a bunch of overweight men.
Mind you, I've had many conversations in
White
the guild,
men.
and many of them just joined because they love the little hyphenation that you get at the back end of your name because it's the guild title and it's nude.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's why we told you to go with it when you offered it. It was like, yeah,
But
it's marketing.
but for a lot of people, that's the only marketing that they wanted for it. They just really wanted that at the back end of it.
Too bad you have to earn it.
So we're gonna play that, and then Stranger
is
of
free.
Paradise on the PS5.
So you're doing Stranger Paradise after the 14 content?
Yes,
Yeah, because that's the order that it came out in.
Yeah, and then also 14.
So we went
is a
out of
higher-
order to beat the Chocobo stuff. But yeah, 14 is technically it's got priority since it's closer to a main series title.
Yeah, there's a hierarchy.
Yeah, there's a hierarchy
that we don't listen to unless we want to.
Yeah, but we're back on it.
Yeah, we're back on the hierarchy diet.
And then we're going to be on the Kingdom Hearts train for a while.
Mm-hmm.
A long while.
Listen to this
3, 4,
list:
5, 6.
Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts Coded, Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, which we've made fun of that title for years now, so it'll be fun to actually play it. Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue,
Yeah, it's the Aqua story.
Kingdom Hearts 3, and then Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, and then I guess Kingdom Hearts 4. Probably won't be out by the time we finish this, but maybe
Probably
it will
not.
be. And then we have 6 more Final Fantasy games that never were. So these were either pitched as Final Fantasy games or at one point were a Final Fantasy title, and then they went a different direction.
Yeah.
And then the sequels to them. So after the Kingdom Hearts series, we'll have Chrono Trigger, Xenogears, and Bravely Default. And then the sequels to those games, although we might just do the sequels right after the original game. I don't know if you want to change that, but this is how the original list was. We will then have Chrono Cross, which I believe there was just a remaster of that
it's
just
on
came
Steam.
out.
Yeah.
Happily paid the money for that one.
Bravely Second, and then Bravely Default 2 should be our last title on the show.
Oh, I don't know if you need to add it in there or not. It's probably not really important, but the release of Chrono Cross on Steam gave you Radical Dreamers, which is a like Oregon Trail kind of game. So it's technically, you get credits. It's technically a game. You technically play it. So it's called Radical Dreamers.
I'll look it up.
Wow.
But it's literally, it took me like an hour and a half to do.
So it's like a Chocobo World
Oh,
kind of situation.
this is the Chrono Series game that wasn't available, and now it's available. Holy shit.
So you're
yeah,
gonna
we do have to add that.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah. I love spending money on
it's part of the
hour-long
purchase.
games.
It's part of the purchase.
No, I know, but I wasn't planning on purchasing.
Yeah, I have the physical copy of Chrono Cross. I was ready for it, dude. I bought that years ago.
I bought it a long
Same with
fucking time ago.
Xenogears, which it looks like we will have to play that version because Square has still not released Xenogears,
Yeah.
which is
It's
crazy.
expensive. Mine was $160, and I felt good about it because it's more. Mine's also like mint, but it's more for like a cheap throwaway copy.
I
It's
bought it
brutal.
for, I want to say 55. So
That was a
I bought
long
mine
time
for.
ago, right?
Yeah.
Like long ago.
Like near the beginning of our show, I bought Xenogears in anticipation.
And Chocobo Dungeon 2, I bought twice,
Oh, I didn't remember this story. I do.
and they were both $130. And Chocobo Racing, also 130 to 150. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 50 seems
So this is
steep,
where
but-
all my Patreon money's been going to.
Yeah, no.
No, not really.
That's just where all my money is going to.
We've only bought games with Patreon money in a choke, like in a moment where like I have no fucking money and there's no way I'm buying a game right now.
Yeah, which translates loosely into we buy all of Joe's games with the Patreon
Not all.
money.
That's not true. It's happened like 3 times.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway,
A mere 3 times.
if
It's
you
not
guys
bad.
want to support us on Patreon, we have a Patreon you guys can check out. Ultimate Final Fantasy keeps the show going. I know we're in kind of like a semi-retirement phase.
About 3 episodes in a row, cough up some fucking money, people.
Yeah.
Come on. It's like
There
the
you
good
go.
old days. It's like the original days where we had review after review after review. Like you didn't even get this treatment in the beginning of the podcast.
All I had to do was show up.
Yeah, we just needed Krinital to whoop. He whooped us into shape for our show,
Yeah,
and we
with
whooped
two-
him
they
into
were
physical
whooping
shape.
Yep.
Yeah, we made him hike and work out and lift weights.
Yeah,
and-
now I have to go home and work out 3 times as harder because I won't be at the same elevation, so my heart will be way stronger.
yeah. Look at that. We're helping you. You made our bonds and our podcast stronger, and we made your heart stronger.
Yeah, we really went through 3 games. Well, I mean, we had like Honestly, we're averaging about the same because we had a long break between whatever in Chocobo World.
Yeah, for no fucking reason. Like, it was just because I was playing Elden Ring like crazy.
I'm still waiting for that mobile title.
I'm not even done with that.
Oh, yeah, and Kryn recorded a mobile title that I tell Schweiss every once in a while to put up, and then he goes, oh, go to it.
Yeah.
Get to it.
We'll see what the gap is. I mean, we're going to have another one.
The FF14 gap will probably be...
It'll be the
It's
biggest
always
kicker.
substantial.
It's bigger than we think it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you trim away the hedges and, it's a big deck.
Yeah.
Big old
It's a
deck.
real big deck.
Yeah.
And I like big decks, but that big deck is a little too big.
Yeah, it's a little too lengthy. A
doesn't-
little too long in the tooth.
And it doesn't fit my house. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys can join our Discord by going into the description of this episode, clicking on the link. We would love to see you there talking about the games. I did get rid of my Twitter completely, so
Yeah.
I'm no longer on Twitter. However,
I am at UFF Podcast.
And I'm still technically on Twitter if you want to find me at Krinital, Krinital.
And in anticipation for Final Fantasy XIV, hit up Krinital. He will get you in our
I
Discord.
will definitely get you the links you need to be able to join our free company so we can actually be part of the family again, so we can all see each other one more time. Maybe reach out to some of our old friends. If you're still listening to the show, please, by all means, jump on the Discord and get in touch with me so I can actually get you all back on there, because if you don't show up for a certain amount of time, we actually have people start disappearing off the roster, and I might have to re-invite you.
huh?
Yeah.
Because if it's like more than 2 years, you just disappear.
Fall off. Yeah.
Really?
Become a free agent. We can't have any free agents out there. We're not at our market cap,
Yeah.
our salary cap.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, I have to go back in and play it myself. I've taken a little bit of a break myself, so
Yeah.
I'll get reacquainted probably after this when I get back, and then probably renew my sub and just check in with the guild, hope everyone's doing okay. But if you can't find me, you can find Emily. She's also in the Discord, but she also has her own Discord. So
What?
It's faster. It's faster for me.
Unacceptable.
It's not it's
Demoted. I'm just kidding, Emily. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's your free company.
Thank you, Emily.
I already got mad at Krinital for handing over the free company to a
Bill
couple
Mardigan.
potheads. Yeah, and then they didn't talk to me for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And I thought they were mad at me, but he wasn't. He was just like, I'm never on anymore. I was like, oh, okay. I thought you were pissed off.
No.
So I called you a pothead. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, Krinital, you gave it to a bunch of stoners? They did expand it, though.
They
made it big.
did. They worked really hard for it.
house.
They did a good job.
And Ben Gabranth, still, every once in a while, I see him post, and he's like legit up there with his DPS.
He's occasionally on there. I don't think he's part of the group anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just Emily and the new people now.
I'm excited after.
So he's a traitor.
We really don't have that many games
Oh,
left.
not a traitor.
We really don't have that many games left. Like the freakishly low amount for like having done this show for so long.
It's
Looking at
been
it,
a
being like-
long road, man.
That's it.
2014. It's almost 10 years.
Can we beat it by the 10th anniversary?
That depends on what
2024.
happens.
If people keep asking for more really long 100-hour RPGs,
Yeah, I remember saying let's not do that anymore on Nude Clan, and some people seem to think that it's a joke.
Yeah, well, some of those were old. They were just people that didn't give us new lists. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not that long. It was like 30 hours. But, yeah, I definitely don't have time for both.
yeah, it adds up.
mm-hmm.
Adds up fast.
But we'll see. Maybe I can get my finances in order and don't have to have a second job. And just let things kind of like auto pay off after the hell that I just put my own shit through.
Yeah.
I always have problems. There's always some shit in my life. What the fuck is that? There's always something in the way.
Life, man.
I know it's like I had school, and then I was broke, and then I was in LA and broke, and then I'm back, and I'm
Make
doing,
a movie.
I'm doing fine, and then I make a movie, and then I go broke again. I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
holding on to your passions, man.
yeah, it's true. Guys, thank you for listening.
Thanks for watching.
Join us in 14. Thanks for watching us on twitch.tv/Ultima Final Fantasy. Keep your notifications on because we don't come on very often. And we'll see you guys next time.
Till then, enjoy the grind.